Listen to me. Comfort is dangerous. It's not loud. It's not obvious. It's quiet. It's soft. It's seductive. It doesn't come knocking at your door shouting, hey, I'm here to ruin your future. No, it whispers. It whispers things like, you've done enough for today, or you deserve a break, or you'll start tomorrow. And the problem is you start believing it. You start thinking that comfort is peace, but it's not peace. It's paralysis. Comfort doesn't come to help you rest. It comes to make you forget you ever had a reason to run. You see, most people don't fail because they don't have potential. They fail because they stop reaching. They stop pushing. They get to a certain point in life where they say, I'm good now. And the moment you say, I'm good, life starts taking back everything you worked for. You think you're standing still, but you're really moving backward because growth never happens in stillness. The second you stop stretching yourself, the second you stop being uncomfortable, your progress begins to die. Let me tell you something, comfort is sneaky. It makes you feel safe. It makes you think you've made it when you haven't even scratched the surface of what you could become. Comfort tricks you into trading your purpose for pleasure. It convinces you to settle for less when more was meant for you. It's the reason so many people live their entire lives wondering, what if? What if I would have gone harder? What if I would have stayed hungry? What if I hadn't gotten comfortable? The truth is, when you were at your lowest, you were more focused, more driven, more locked in. Because when you were hungry, you had no other option but to fight. You had no other option but to grind. But the moment you started getting a little bit of success, a little bit of recognition, a little bit of comfort, your fire started to fade. You used to wake up early because you had something to prove. Now you hit snooze because you think you've already proven it. You used to train like your life depended on it. Now you coast because you think you've arrived. But let me tell you, comfort is the silent killer of greatness. It doesn't take you down all at once. It takes you down slowly, one small compromise at a time. One skipped workout, one missed opportunity, one I'll do it later. It's death by small decisions. And before you know it, you've lost that edge, that hunger, that fire that once separated you from everybody else. You can't stay comfortable and expect growth. Progress and comfort don't live in the same space. If you're serious about elevation, you've got to make discomfort your companion. You've got to get to a place where you want the challenge, where you crave the struggle, because you understand that pain is the price of progress. Every time you choose the hard thing over the easy thing, you grow. Every time you choose discipline over desire, you level up. Growth isn't supposed to feel good. It's supposed to stretch you. Think about the people who inspire you. They didn't get there by choosing comfort. They didn't wake up one day and find success sitting on their doorstep. They fought for it. They got uncomfortable. They faced rejection, pain, loss, but they didn't stop because they understood something most people never will. The discomfort you feel today is the strength you stand on tomorrow. The grind builds you. The pain grows you. The struggle shapes you. You've got to stop running from discomfort and start using it. Stop avoiding the situations that make you sweat, make you think, make you stretch. That's where your growth lies. Every time you avoid the hard thing, you delay your destiny. Every time you pick the easy road, you rob yourself of progress. You say you want success, but success is built in the uncomfortable moments nobody sees. It's built when you're tired, but you keep going. When you're afraid, but you step forward anyway. When you don't feel like it, but you do it regardless. And I know it's not easy. Comfort is warm. It's familiar. It's what you know. But what you know is not enough for where you're going. You've got to be willing to let go of comfort so you can grab hold of purpose. You've got to be willing to lose sleep, to lose friends, to lose habits that don't serve you anymore. Because everything that's comfortable to you right now is keeping you from becoming who you're meant to be. Some of you are one uncomfortable decision away from changing your entire life, but you won't make it because comfort has convinced you that where you are is good enough. But good enough is the enemy of great, and greatness doesn't live in good enough. It lives in the grind. It lives in the early mornings, the late nights, the uncomfortable conversations, the lonely hours when nobody believes in you but you. That's where growth happens. That's where champions are made. You've got to make a choice, comfort or calling. You can't have both. You can't pray for progress while protecting your comfort zone. You can't ask for elevation and stay attached to ease. If you want to rise, you've got to get uncomfortable. Because everything you want in life, everything you dream of, lies just beyond the edge of what's comfortable. So stop waiting for perfect conditions. Stop waiting for the right moment. There is no right time to chase greatness. There's only now. Get up, move. Do something that makes you uncomfortable today. Start that project. Take that risk. Face that fear. Push yourself where you've never been before. Because comfort might make you feel good today, but it will cost you everything tomorrow. The uncomfortable road is the only road that leads to progress. Excuses, that's the one that keeps more people trapped than anything else. Everybody's got dreams. Everybody's got potential. Everybody says they want it. But when it's time to move, when it's time to grind, when it's time to sacrifice, that's when the excuses show up. I don't have time. I'm too tired. I don't have the right resources. You've got a list for why you can't instead of a plan for how you will. And let me be real with you. Your excuses might sound good. They might sound reasonable, but they don't change your results. You can't make progress and make excuses at the same time. It's one or the other. Excuses are comfortable. They protect your ego. They give you something to blame when you fall short. You can tell yourself, it's not my fault. And for a moment, that feels better than facing the truth. But it's a lie. Because while excuses make you feel safe, they steal your power. Every time you make one, you hand over control of your life to something outside yourself. You give it to your circumstances, your past, your pain, your limitations. You start believing you don't have a choice, and that's exactly how you stay stuck. The truth is, nobody's life is perfect. Everybody's got challenges. The people you admire, they didn't have fewer problems. They had fewer excuses. They decided that nothing was going to stop them, not their background, not their environment, not their situation. They understood that progress doesn't come from waiting on things to get easier. It comes from getting stronger. You see, when you're serious about your goals, you stop negotiating with your weakness. You stop saying, I'll do it when I feel like it, or I'll do it when the timing's right. Because let's be honest, the right time never comes. You'll never feel completely ready. You'll never have all the answers. You've just got to start where you are with what you have and do what you can. That's how every winner begins, by taking responsibility instead of making excuses. Some of you have been recycling the same excuses for years. You've been saying, I don't have time, but you spend hours scrolling your phone. You've been saying, I don't have money, but you haven't looked for creative ways to start. You've been saying, I don't have support, but you've never learned to support yourself. The truth is, it's not a lack of resources, it's a lack of resourcefulness. You're waiting for conditions to change when the change needs to start in you. Excuses are poison to progress because they feed your comfort zone. They make you feel justified in staying average. You tell yourself, I would have gone harder if, or I could have made it. Bah! You fill in the blank with something that makes you feel better about not showing up at your best. But progress doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't care about your reasons. It only responds to effort. It only responds to consistency. It only responds to action. There's always going to be a reason not to do it. Always. You'll always be busy. You'll always be tired. You'll always have something that makes it hard. But successful people don't let hard stop them. They let hard shape them. They turn every excuse into energy, every obstacle into opportunity. They ask, how can I make this work? Instead of saying why it won't work. That's the mindset that separates the average from the unstoppable. You've got to decide today that you're done explaining why you can't. Stop giving power to your excuses. Stop repeating the same story that's keeping you small. Rewrite the narrative. Instead of, I don't have time, say, I'll make time. Instead of, I'm tired, say, I'm built for this. Instead of, I don't know how, say, I'll learn. Because every time you replace an excuse with action, you take one step closer to your potential. And let me tell you, nobody's coming to save you from your excuses. Not your parents, not your friends, not your boss, not your coach. This is on you. You can have the best mentors, the best advice, the best opportunities, but if you keep hiding behind your excuses, none of it will matter. You've got to stop waiting for someone to push you and start pushing yourself. You've got to stop saying someday and start saying today. Because the only thing standing between where you are and where you want to be is the story you keep telling yourself about why you can't get there. When you stop making excuses, you start making progress. It's that simple. Progress doesn't happen when everything is perfect. It happens when you take ownership in the middle of the mess. When you stop blaming and start building. When you stop talking about what you could have done and start doing what you can do now. So hear me clearly, the life you want, the success you dream about, The impact you were born to make, it's all waiting on the other side of your excuses. The moment you decide that no excuse is big enough to stop you, everything changes. You start to move differently. You start to think differently. You start to live like progress is your only option. Excuses are easy. Progress is earned. The question is, which one are you choosing? Fear. That's the one that doesn't always scream. It whispers. It lives in the back of your mind, feeding you lies so smooth you start believing them. Fear says, what if you fail? But it never says, what if you win? Fear says, what if you lose everything? But never, what if you gain everything you've ever wanted? That's how it traps you. It doesn't need to stop you physically. It just needs to make you hesitate long enough to kill your momentum. And some of you aren't failing because you're not capable. You're failing because fear's got you frozen. You've got dreams in your heart that you never even started chasing because you're scared of how it might look if it doesn't work out. But let me tell you the truth. Fear isn't real until you give it permission to be. It's a story your mind tells your body, and you've been rehearsing that story so long, it's become your reality. Every time you say, I can't, or I'm not ready, or I'll do it later, that's fear winning. That's fear convincing you to stay safe, to stay small, to stay unseen. But safety is the enemy of progress. You can't play it safe and grow at the same time. You can't be comfortable and courageous in the same breath. The people who change the world, the people who make history, they feel fear just like you. The difference is they move anyway. They use fear as fuel. They understand that fear is just energy waiting to be redirected. The same adrenaline that fear gives you can either paralyze you or propel you. It's the same power. What matters is what you do with it. You've got to face that thing that scares you. Stop running from it. Stop pretending it's not there. You've got to look it dead in the face and say, you will not control me. Because the moment you confront your fear, it loses its power. It only grows in the dark. It feeds off your silence. But when you bring it into the light, when you face it with truth, you realize it's smaller than you thought. You've been letting fear talk you out of opportunities that could change your life. You've been letting it dictate your decisions, your pace, your future. Fear's been telling you, don't apply for that job. You're not qualified. Fear's been saying, don't start that business. You'll embarrass yourself. Fear's been whispering, don't dream too big. People will laugh at you. But you've got to stop listening to that voice because fear doesn't know your power. Fear doesn't know your potential. Fear doesn't know what happens when you decide to believe in yourself again. Let's be real. You're not afraid of failing. You're afraid of what people will say if you fail. You're afraid of judgment. You're afraid of disappointment. You're afraid of falling short in front of the same people you're trying to impress. But hear me, those people don't get to define you. They don't get to live your life. They don't get to carry your dream. You do. And if you let their opinions control your actions, you'll spend your life living someone else's version of safe instead of your own version of greatness. Fear will always be there. You can't eliminate it, but you can dominate it. You do that by taking small steps in the direction of what scares you most. You want to beat fear. Move. That's it. Fear thrives on inactivity. The longer you wait, the louder it gets. But the moment you act, even if you stumble, the power starts shifting back to you. Every time you do something afraid, you build courage. Every time you stand in your fear and move forward anyway, you grow stronger. You've got to stop letting fear write the story of your life. You've got to start writing it yourself. Every great chapter begins with a risk. Every breakthrough begins with a moment of uncertainty. Every success story begins with a decision to walk through fear, not around it. You want to progress. Then stop looking for the path without fear. There isn't one. The path of progress is the path through fear. And listen, the most dangerous thing fear does is convince you that tomorrow is safer than today. It tells you to wait, to prepare a little longer, to plan a little more. But you've been planning for years and fear keeps winning. There will never be a perfect moment. There will never be a guarantee. All you have is now. And fear hates now. Because no is action, no is movement, no is where faith lies. Don't let fear rob you of the life you were built for. Don't let it silence your voice, shrink your dream, or stop your progress. You've got too much purpose in you to let fear be your master. You were made to move, to build, and fear only wins if you stop. So even if your hands are shaking, even if your voice trembles, even if your heart's racing, move anyway. Step forward. Do it scared. Because fear doesn't mean stop. Fear means go. It means you're in the right place, stretching beyond what's familiar, reaching for what's possible. Progress lies right on the other side of fear. And the moment you push through it, you'll realize it wasn't the mountain holding you back. It was the voice inside telling you couldn't climb it. Doubt and distraction, the two thieves of destiny. They don't show up with alarms or warning signs. They come quietly, slipping into your mind when you're tired, when you're uncertain, when you're alone. Doubt starts whispering, "Are you sure you can do this?" And distraction starts pulling your attention in every direction except the one that matters. Together, they rob you of focus, they drain your energy, and before you even realize it, they've stolen your progress. You see, doubt doesn't always scream failure. It sounds like reason. It sounds logical. It sounds like maybe it's not the right time, or maybe I'm not ready. But the truth is, doubt is the voice of hesitation dressed up as wisdom. It's that inner critic that keeps you safe but small. It convinces you to lower your aim so you never have to feel the sting of missing the mark. It keeps you from trying so you never have to face failing. And distraction, that's its best friend. Because while doubt keeps you questioning your worth, distraction keeps you too busy to do anything about it. Let's be honest, this generation is drowning in distraction. You've got a dream that needs your focus, but every 5 seconds you're checking your phone, scrolling, comparing, consuming everyone else's highlights while your own story sits unfinished. You say you don't have time, but it's not time you're lacking, it's attention. You've given your attention to everything except your purpose. You've become so used to noise that silence feels uncomfortable, and that's a problem because progress is born in silence. Growth happens in focus. Mastery happens when your mind and your mission move in the same direction. Some of you started strong. You were fired up, passionate, consistent. But then doubt crept in. One negative comment, and suddenly your mind started playing tricks on you. Maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I'm wasting my time. Maybe I should just quit. Once doubt takes root, distraction grows fast. You start doing everything except the thing that moves you forward. You start filling your days with meaningless activity to avoid the discomfort of chasing something real. You've got to understand, doubt is not your intuition, it's your insecurity talking. It's the part of you that's scared of what happens if you go all in and it still doesn't work. But listen, progress doesn't come to those who play safe. It comes to those who bet on themselves when nobody else will. You've got to train your mind to believe before you see. That's how you build unstoppable confidence, not by waiting for proof, but by moving in faith. You don't need a guarantee, you need a decision. And as for distraction, you've got to guard your focus like it's your life, because it is. Every notification, every pointless argument, every moment of scrolling, those are tiny cuts to your destiny. You think it's harmless, but it's death by 1,000 distractions. Every time you lose focus, you lose time, and time is the one thing you can't get back. You can rebuild money, rebuild opportunity, rebuild strength, but you can't rebuild time. Once it's gone, it's gone. You've got to decide what matters and build walls around it. You've got to say no to what's good so you can say yes to what's great. Because not everything that demands your attention deserves it. Some things are just noise designed to pull you away from your purpose. The more you feed distraction, the weaker your focus becomes. And without focus, progress is impossible. You can't hit a target you can't see. You've got to start eliminating the things that don't serve your growth. The people, the habits, the thoughts, the environments that pull you away from your purpose. You've got to cut them off. Protect your energy like it's sacred, because it is. The world will always have something to say, something to show, something to sell, but you've got something to build. You've got a mission that can't afford to be interrupted every 5 minutes by meaningless noise and doubt. You beat it with proof. Not proof from others, but proof from your own action. Every time you follow through, every time you show up, every time you push when it's easier to quit, you collect evidence that you're capable. That's how confidence grows. Not from talking, not from wishing, but from doing. Action is the antidote to doubt. When your mind says, you can't, your actions say, watch me. Distraction and doubt can't survive in the presence of discipline. When you're locked in, when your focus is unshakable, when your vision is clear, they lose their power. You've got to be so focused on where you're going that everything else starts to fade into the background. You've got to reach a point where progress is not just what you do, it's who you are. And let me tell you, this won't happen overnight. You'll have days when the noise feels loud, when doubt hits harder, when distractions look tempting. But that's when you've got to double down. That's when you've got to remind yourself why you started. That's when you've got to look at your reflection and say, I'm not quitting. I'm not stopping. I'm not losing focus now. Because progress isn't built in the moments when everything's clear. It's built in the moments when everything's confusing, but you stay locked in anyway. So stop letting doubt write your story. Stop letting distraction decide your direction. Focus on the mission. Believe in the vision. Move with conviction, because the ones who win aren't the ones with the most talent. They're the ones who refuse to get distracted, who refuse to stop believing, who refuse to let doubt have the last word. Stay focused, stay faithful fighting, because your destiny depends on it.